You're watching a special broadcast on DD India, India's voice to the world, and I'm Sakal Bhatt. And we are happy to bring to you Reflections 2024, the compilation of top news breaks of the year 2024. The year 2024 was marked by some historic elections across the continents, coupled with global unrest. People in more than 60 countries, representing almost 50% of the world's population, went to polls in the year 2024. Be it historic third-term win for Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi with unprecedented mandate, or the way voters in Mexico and United Kingdom picked their new leaders, toppling the popular regimes. Besides, US President-elect Donald Trump making a spectacular comeback. Military conflicts continued as the Russia-Ukraine war entered its third year, and the fighting surrounding the Israel-Hamas also escalated to some extent. A number of natural disasters also made to the global headlines of 2024. We begin with climate mayhem. The world was scorching hot in 2024, with temperatures breaking records everywhere, clearly marking 2024 the hottest year ever recorded. Global warming caused crazy heat waves, droughts and deadly floods, while wet weather was equally bad. In fact, in West and Central Africa, an unusually intense rainy season killed over 1,500 people, while Hurricane Helene hit the southeast of United States. You had Typhoon Kriton slamming into Taiwan and Storm Boris bringing widespread destruction to Central Europe. Typhoon Yagi caused a lot of damage in Asia. A devastating Mediterranean storm hit Spain, triggering its worst floods in decades. 2024 turned out to be the world's warmest since records began, with extraordinarily high temperatures persisting also into at least the first few months of 2025. At least that's what was predicted. Data from January to November confirmed that 2024 is certainly to be the hottest year on record, and the first in which average global temperatures exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius. Extreme heat conditions triggered extreme drought conditions in Italy, South America, fatal floods in Nepal, Sudan and Europe, heat waves in Mexico, Mali and Saudi Arabia that killed thousands, as well as disastrous cyclones in the US and the Philippines.
Excellencies, we are in a climate meltdown. Extreme temperatures, raging fires, droughts and epic floods are not natural disasters. They are human disasters, increasingly fueled by fossil fuels. No country is spared.
On 19th of Jan, Japan became the fifth country to achieve a soft touchdown on the moon after the United States, Russia, China and India. The Japanese spacecraft aimed to land within 100 meters of location near the Scioli crater on the near side of the moon. Sweden became NATO's newest member, making it the 32nd country to join the grouping on March 7th. Before joining NATO, Sweden had more than 200 years of non-alignment. Becoming a NATO member is a paradigm shift in Swedish foreign and security policy.
God kväll. Sverige är nu medlem.
Good evening. Sweden is now a member of NATO. A couple of hours ago, I handed over the Swedish documents to the US Secretary of State here in Washington, D.C. Today, Sweden is a safer country than it was yesterday. We have allies, we have backing, we have insurance in the Western Defense Alliance, and a part of the world is also safer now and for future generations.
Nu och för framtida generationer.
But Russia continued to grab world attention. Vladimir Putin began his fifth term as Russian president after clinching an election criticized by the Western powers as a sham, despite him registering a landslide win. And this went just a few months into Alexei Navalny, Putin's vociferous critic, dying in a mysterious Arctic prison. This election in Russia was special, as Russia also held elections in the occupied regions of Ukraine.
On March 18, Russia, which was in the middle of an offensive, held its elections and President Putin emerged once again victorious for his fifth term with nearly 88% votes voted in his favor. Vladimir Putin won with a record since post-Soviet Russia. On May 14, Jonathan Yeo, a UK-based artist, painted the portrait of Charles, unveiled at Buckingham Palace over the course of 3 years, a first since his coronation. The portrait created controversy around the world with a vivid red colouring.
The year 2024 also saw one of the most consequential world leaders of the Middle East, Ebrahim Raisi's sudden death in a helicopter crash near the Azerbaijan border. Raisi was 63 years of age and he served as Iran's president from August 2021. The speculations were rife that Ebrahim Raisi, the hardline president of Iran, was assassinated, and needle of suspicion pointing towards the involvement of Iran arch enemy Israel allegedly. The year 2024 also saw Iran striking Israel with hundreds of drones and missiles during the Israel-Hamas war, marking the first time that two regional powers engaged in a direct and dangerous military confrontation.
On 19th of May, Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi, along with 7 others, died in a sudden helicopter crash. Raisi's ultra-conservative cleric's tenure as Iran's president was marked by a mass uprising and an increasingly confrontational stance towards the West. His death, along with that of the foreign minister, came amidst Iran struggling with internal dissent and its relations with the wider world. Masoud Pezeshkian, the most reform-oriented president in decades, was elected to replace him in July 2024. On 30th of May, President-elect of United States Donald Trump became first US president convicted of a crime. He was found guilty on 34 counts in his hush money trial, the first time any American president has been found guilty of a crime. After 2 days of deliberation, the 12-member jury pronounced Trump guilty on all 34 felony counts he faced.
It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing, we didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man.
So 2024 was also an election year with some unprecedented results on the anvil. In Britain, a new government entered parliament after voters gave the country's left-leaning Labour Party a majority. These election results upended British politics. Labour Party won some 410 seats, an increase of 210, while the Conservatives, the Western world's most successful party, lost about 250 lawmakers. Over in the European Union, or EU, voting across the 27-member bloc delivered a right-tilting European Parliament, shaking up governments in member states and leaving mainstream groups at a crossroads. Although European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen claimed win after her centre-right European People's Party, or EPP, maintained the most seats of any single group in the legislative body. Now, these EU polls clearly saw far-right surging in EU vote as it topped polls in Germany, France and Austria.
With 401 votes in favour, the European Parliament elected Ursula von der Leyen as President of the European Commission in a secret ballot on 18th of July. The vote was held by secret paper ballot. 401 MEPs voted in favour, 284 against and 22 cast blank or invalid votes. This was Ursula von der Leyen's second term as Commission President. She was first elected by MEPs in July 2019. EP is the legislative branch of the European Union and constitutes an important supranational forum for political debates and decision-making within the EU. Labour Party emerged victorious in UK parliamentary elections, making Keir Starmer Prime Minister in a historic win. Conservatives, the Western world's most successful party, lost about 250 lawmakers, including a record number of senior ministers and former Prime Minister Liz Truss. The scale of Labour's win was impressive, with the party securing 412 of the 650 seats in the UK House of Commons and handing the Conservatives their worst defeat in around a century. On July 14th, Donald Trump escaped an assassination attempt. He was wounded in the right ear in an assassination bid by gunmen at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. 78-year-old Trump was rushed off the stage with blood streaked across the face after the shooting in Butler County. Ryan Ruth was arrested on September 15th after Secret Service agents spotted him with a gun near the course. The opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics on July 26th at the Seine River was at the center of controversies. The ceremony was criticized by religious authorities and the international community for offending Christianity. Catholic Church in France, several Christian unions, including the Middle East Council of Churches and the Vatican, strongly criticized the opening. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was freed from the prison in the UK. He travelled home to Australia after he agreed to plead guilty to a single charge of breaching the espionage law in US. Assange, 52 years of age, pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to obtain and disclose classified US national defense documents. He was freed from UK's high-security Belmarsh prison and taken to the airport from where he flew out of the country.
As I emerge from the dungeon of Belmarsh, the truth now seems less discernible, and I regret how much ground has been lost during that time period, how expressing the truth has been undermined, attacked, weakened, and diminished. Let us all commit to doing our part to ensure that the light of freedom never dims, that the pursuit of truth will live on, and that the voices of the many are not silenced by the interests of the few.
The year 2024 was also marked by some key milestones in Indian diplomacy, which asserted India's strategic autonomy and its role in the global south while supporting Ukraine's sovereignty. Indian Prime Minister's Ukraine visit and his meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky came close on the heels after he met Russia's President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. The news widely followed by the West. This was the first by an Indian leader in more than 30 years, a visit to Ukraine. The world also watched Russian President Vladimir Putin hosting dear friend Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi on the first trip to Russia after the Ukraine war. Prime Minister Modi treaded a very fine line between maintaining a long-standing relationship with Moscow along with quoting close ties with the West while advocating that dialogue is the best way forward in conflict resolution.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarked on a state visit to Ukraine on 23rd of August. This was the first ever visit of an Indian Prime Minister to the country. This was particularly crucial visit that came after Prime Minister Modi's earlier visit to Russia, but aimed at supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and exploring peace-building initiatives.
युद्ध के समय हमने दो प्रकार की भूमिकाओं का रास्ता अपनाया। हमारी पहली भूमिका रही है मानवीय दृष्टिकोण की। ऐसे संकट की घड़ी में बहुत सारी रिक्वायरमेंट रहती हैं, जिन रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरा करने के लिए भारत ने हो सका उतना एक मानवीय दृष्टिकोण को केंद्र में रखते हुए पूरा करने का प्रयास किया है। और मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि मानवीय दृष्टिकोण से भी जिस प्रकार की मदद की आवश्यकता होगी, भारत हमेशा हमेशा आपके साथ खड़ा रहेगा। हम बहुत ही कन्विक्शन के साथ युद्ध से दूर रहे हैं, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम तटस्थ थे, हम न्यूट्रल नहीं थे। हम पहले दिन से ही पक्षकार रहे हैं और हमारा पक्ष है शांति का।
Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was forced to leave the country and take refuge in India. This news caught immense global attention after violent protests in Bangladesh that began as demands to scrap the quota laws in the country. In Bangladesh, a new caretaker government was put in place, led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus amidst all chaos, and the interim government has been in use since then for more controversial decisions than anything else.
West Asia crisis began with terrorist attacks by Hamas on October 7, 2023, and this continued into the year 2024. Israel's ground operations and aerial bombardment in Gaza and Lebanon have killed nearly 50,000 people, or in fact more. Gaza is all but flattened, but Hamas is believed to be still holding at least 97 of the original 251 hostages. Other important events of the war in 2024 saw involvement of Iran and Lebanon in the war and escalation of conflict with the death of key leaders like Ismail Haniyeh and Hassan Nasrallah. 7th October 2024 also marked an year of the terrorist assault by Hamas on Israel. After flattening parts of Gaza, Israel took its retaliation to Hezbollah, with West Asia clearly on the brink of an all-out war.
On September 18th and 19th, at least 32 people, including 2 children, were killed and thousands injured, many gravely after communication devices, some used by the armed group Hezbollah, dramatically exploded across Lebanon. 2 firms based in Taiwan and Hungary, accused in media reports of manufacturing the pagers, both denied responsibility, with the Taiwanese government saying the different parts of the pagers were not from Taiwan. Japanese company which made the walkie-talkie said it stopped producing that model 10 years ago. It was on this day, on October 7, 2023, when Palestinian militant group Hamas launched a highly coordinated attack on Israel. Israel bombed more than 40,000 targets, found 4,700 tunnel shafts, and destroyed at least 1,000 rocket launcher sites. In 1 year, nearly 726 Israeli soldiers had been killed, while injured troops numbered close to 5,000 since that date. In a year, around 13,200 rockets were also fired into Israel from Gaza, another 12,400 fired from Lebanon, while 60 came from Syria, 180 from Yemen, and 400 from Iran.
US elections were crucial, and they came with a variety of events that grabbed global attention. First, outgoing President Joe Biden's reluctance to step down as presidential nominee, finally paving way for Kamala Harris in the fray. But this wasn't enough fodder for news breaks until shocking assassination bids and conviction of US President-elect Donald Trump made bigger headlines. 4 years after a failed re-election bid, US President-elect Donald Trump pulled off a stunning historic victory over Kamala Harris by winning both the Electoral College vote and the popular vote, marking the first time a president will serve the non-consecutive terms since Grover Cleveland in 1893 way back. This was also the first time that Trump won the popular vote. Not only this, he also became the first president convicted of a crime, the infamous Hush Money case.
Donald Trump emerged as the president-elect, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris on keenly contested elections on November 5th. These US elections had Harris replacing Biden as the presidential candidate. Strong and vocal support of businessman Elon Musk for Trump grabbed more headlines, including extensive use of memes in election campaign, grabbed eyeballs across the globe.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president.
In 1 year, more than 39,000 civilians were killed or injured, and over 3,400 schools and hospitals damaged or destroyed, while 10 million people fled their homes. Key events of the 2024 included the attack of Russia on Ukraine's energy plants, pushing Ukraine to an energy crisis, and involvement of international bodies raising alarm. Visit of Russian President Vladimir Putin to North Korea, a first in 24 years, heightened the stake of war as the key event, while outgoing US President Joe Biden permitted Ukraine to use long-range missiles in Russia. Rio G20 Summit was special one, as more stronger and more participatory Global South was at helm of this G20 Summit. Summit had an overarching theme: social inclusion, fight against hunger and poverty, sustainable development, energy transition and climate action, and the reform of global governance institution. Another major highlight of the G20 was the launch of Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty.
Compete aos que estão de volta.
It falls to those gathered around this table to tackle the urgent task of ending this scourge that shames the humanity. For this reason, we have made a launch of a global alliance against hunger and poverty the central goal of Brazil's G20 presidency. This will be our greatest legacy. International tax cooperation is crucial to reducing inequality. Studies commissioned by a G20 finance track are revealing a 2% tax on wealth of ultra-rich individuals could generate around $250 billion annually to be invested in addressing the social and environmental challenges of our time.
On December 1st, US President Joe Biden signed an unconditional pardon for his son Hunter Biden, who was facing sentence. Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to tax charges earlier in September and was found guilty of being an illegal drug user in possession of a gun in June, becoming the first child of sitting president to be convicted of a crime. Reacting to the pardon, President-elect Donald Trump called it abuse and miscarriage of justice. French voters also shocked the world by rejecting Marine Le Pen's efforts to see her far-right National Rally party take control of France's legislature. France plunged into a political crisis after a no-confidence vote brought down the government, ending the beleaguered minority coalition of the right-wing Prime Minister Michel Barnier. Only after 3 months post the commotion, Macron's ally François Bayrou has been appointed as new French Prime Minister. On 3rd of December, Yoon Suk Yeol, the president of South Korea, declared martial law during a televised address. Parliament voted later in the evening, requiring President Yoon to lift the martial law he declared earlier. South Korea's parliament has voted to impeach President Yoon Suk Yeol over his short-lived martial law decree on 3rd of December.
After the sudden exit of ousted Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad, the former Islamist opposition led by Al-Qaeda offshoot Hayat Tahrir al-Sham or HTS and the Syrian people face a monumental transition. There are many questions like, could this be the beginning of the end of the civil war and bloodshed, or rather is this the end of the beginning of the conflict as Syria, which is recently freed from Assad, attempts to find its way despite significant social and religious divisions and the presence of many armed groups. Syria, remember, has endured more than 50 years of brutal Assad family rule, that's what they say, and finally devolved into a civil war sort of a situation. The larger question is that can Islamist coalition led by HTS consolidate power in this environment? If yes, then it would represent a massive transformation in a nation that has long been cursed with a lot of instability, lot of bloodshed, and now some significant implications for the region.
The Syrian civil war started in 2011 as an offshoot of the Arab Spring that saw various regimes in the Arab world being toppled in 2024. Syria since then has been the center of the political turmoil and has been undergoing major overhaul since the ouster of Assad on 8th of December, when rebel groups took control of Damascus after their attack of Aleppo and Homs. With this, Bashar al-Assad's regime of more than 5 decades came to an end. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham or HTS with Abu Muhammad al-Jalani, also popular as Ahmad al-Shara, is leading the faction, emerging as the leader of the Assad-free Syria. Since the fall of Damascus, Bashar al-Assad declared that he never intended to flee the country. However, he was evacuated by the Russian military, as he claimed, after their base in western Syria came under attack. Engagement of Shara with international stakeholders consolidated post Bashar al-Assad's fall. It claimed its primary focus is on the reconstruction and achieving economic development and not engaging in any new conflicts. Outgoing Biden administration maintained it is weighing options whether to remove HTS from its list of terrorist organizations. Turkey has maintained strong ties with Syria's new leaders, while Saudi Arabia is in direct contact with Syria's new authorities. Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu's government unanimously approved more than 40 million shekel or $11 million plan to encourage demographic growth in the Golan Heights. This is an area of 1800 square kilometers on Israel-Syria border, which Israel captured most of the strategic plateau from Syria in 1967 Six-Day War, annexing it in 1981. Although only about 2/3 of what is known as the Golan Heights is under Israel's control, it manages the most strategic points.
On today, everyone understands the tremendous importance of our presence on the Golan Heights and not at its foot. Our control of the Golan Heights ensure our security, it ensure our sovereignty. On the occasion, I want to thank my friend, President-elect Donald Trump, for responding to my request to recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights in 2019. This historic recognition gains even greater significance today. It takes on the even greater importance. The Golan Heights will be an inseparable part of the state of Israel for eternity.
More than 25,000 Syrians have returned home from Turkey since Bashar al-Assad was overthrown by HTS rebels. Turkey is home to nearly 3 million refugees who fled the civil war that broke out in 2011 and whose presence has been an issue for President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's government. Mass displacement, widespread food insecurity, crumbling infrastructure, economic decline, and diseases have left 16.7 million people in urgent need of assistance in 2024. Syria ranks as the fourth most food insecure country globally, with 12.9 million people requiring food assistance.
We are still in what I would call a very fluid period. Things have not settled. There is a real opportunity for change, but this opportunity needs to be grasped by the Syrians themselves and supported by the UN and the international community.
The civil war that began in Sudan in April 2023 continued unabated in 2024. The fighting pits the Sudanese armed forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan against the Rapid Support Forces militia led by Mohammed Hamdan Hamditi Dagalo. More than 12 million people, nearly a quarter of Sudan's population, have been displaced. Among them, over 3.2 million have fled to neighboring countries as refugees straining fragile regions already grappling with limited resources.
So the world is on fire. And this is how we put it out. We'll launch the Global Humanitarian Overview this week. And it fills me with a mixture of shame, dread, but also hope.
On 23rd of December 2024, the Pakistan government and the opposition Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party started talks, marking a step towards addressing several contentious issues, including the release of jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Internal pressure and growing calls for Khan's release globally by influential people have made the government discuss Khan's release, among other issues, with the PTI. His arrest has been linked to violent protest in the country, adding to its instability and ongoing crisis. Military court in Pakistan has so far reportedly convicted at least 25 people for their role in these protests following the arrest of Khan. Meanwhile, protesters are demanding the release of Khan and what his supporters deem political prisoners.
And we now switch focus to some India-centric national news breaks that made it to the big headlines. The year 2024 began on an auspicious note of a grand Pran Pratishtha or consecration ceremony of Ram Mandir in temple town of Ayodhya in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. It was held on 22nd of January 2024 in a traditional sacred ceremony involving the Pran Pratishtha of the primary temple deity Ram Lalla, the childhood form of Lord Ram. Some landmark decisions included the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act and One Nation, One Election report, which was also followed by Great Indian General Elections, the biggest electoral exercise on the planet, culminating in historic third-term win for India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In the year 2024, India also bid farewell to some prominent personalities and national icons spanning various fields. India mourned the demise of former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. India was also left grieving for voices who left a striking impact on nation of billions, from Pankaj Udhas to Ratan Tata, from legendary filmmaker Shyam Benegal to Ustad Zakir Hussain. The year 2024 was also about men and women nation loved the most, but lost also.
On January 22nd, the Ram Lalla idol of the much revered Indian deity Lord Ram was unveiled during the grand Pran Pratishtha ceremony which involved hour-long rituals led by Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi. Prime Minister said, and I quote, "In every age, people have lived Ram. They have expressed Ram in their style and words." On 11th of March, the Union Government of India announced the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act, which enabled persecuted minority communities from select religions like Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Christians, Buddhists and Parsis from India's neighbouring countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh to acquire Indian citizenship. On 14th of March, a high-level committee led by former President of India, Ramnath Kovind, submitted a detailed report on One Nation, One Election to President of India, Draupadi Murmu. The report, comprising more than 18,000 pages, compilation of extensive consultations with stakeholders, experts and research works of at least 191 days since its constitution on 2nd of September 2023, was presented to the President. General elections of India took place from 19th of April to 1st of June 2024 in 7 phases to elect 543 members of the Lok Sabha. It was the world's largest elections with around 97 crore voters participating in the grand exercise. On 4th of June, Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi pulled a historic third term in power. BJP-led National Democratic Alliance won 286 seats against the Congress-led India Bloc's 231 seats. Prime Minister Modi became only Prime Minister after the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, to have won 3 consecutive terms. On 9th of June, Prime Minister Modi took oath as the Prime Minister of India for the 3rd consecutive term at a ceremony at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. On 9th of June, India got its leader of the opposition for the first time in decades. Rahul Gandhi of the Congress party was appointed as the leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, filling a post that had been empty for a decade. At least 231 people were killed, 397 at least injured, and more than 118 went missing following landslides in Wayanad district in down south Kerala state. Studies mentioned that Wayanad landslide was one of the largest in India's history. On September 15th, Arvind Kejriwal announced his resignation as the Chief Minister of Delhi, effective from 17th of September. Arvind Kejriwal was succeeded by Atashi Marlena Singh. BJP created history in Haryana, achieving first ever consecutive third term in the state. Bharatiya Janata Party made history by becoming the first political party to win 3 consecutive terms in the Haryana Assembly polls. Nayab Saini took oath as Chief Minister of the state for the second time. On 9th of October, Indian business tycoon Ratan Tata passes away at the age of 86. He led Tata conglomerate for more than 2 decades. Tata was one of India's most internationally recognized business leaders around the world. On 12th of October, Baba Siddiqui, member of the ruling Mahayuti coalition in Maharashtra, was shot. Baba Siddiqui was shot multiple times while he was leaving his son's Bandra office. Allegedly, the members of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang were linked to the murder. On 21st of October, India and China reached an agreement regarding patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh, marking progress in easing tensions that arose after the 2020 standoff between India and China. According to the agreement, the army will begin patrolling key areas in eastern Ladakh following the resolution reached during discussions between the two nations. On 18 December, 23rd India-China Special Representatives Talk took place. Ajit Doval, National Security Advisor and India's Special Representative on the India-China boundary issue, held the 23rd meeting of the Special Representatives with his Chinese counterpart, Mr. Yong Yi, member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China. On 16th of November, India successfully launched its first hypersonic missile at a test site in Abdul Kalam Island. Defence Research and Development Organisation DRDO conducted a successful flight trial of India's first long-range hypersonic missile from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island off the coast of Odisha. On 23rd of November, BJP-led alliance gets a landslide win in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. In Maharashtra, the Mahayuti coalition of the BJP, Shiv Sena and Nationalist Congress Party clinched 235 of the 288 assembly seats, while the BJP secured 132 alone. Devendra Fadnavis took oath as the Chief Minister for the 3rd time. On November 26, India celebrated the 75th anniversary of its constitution. Prime Minister Narendra Modi commemorated the occasion, highlighting the document's significance. A special discussion was also included in the winter session of Parliament in both houses to commemorate the same. On 6th of December, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the first ever Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav at Bharat Mandapam in national capital New Delhi. The event displayed culture of Northeast India as vibrant tapestry woven with centuries of tradition, diverse languages, rich folklore and breathtaking landscapes. On December 16th, passing of the legendary tabla maestro Ustad Zakir Hussain marked the end of an era. Tabla legend Zakir Hussain passed in San Francisco Hospital. He was 73 years of age. Mr. Hussain died of complications arising from pulmonary fibrosis, a rare and progressive lung condition. On December 23rd, pioneer of the parallel cinema in India, Shyam Benegal passed away at the age of 90. Shyam Benegal, who heralded a new era in Hindi cinema with a parallel movement in the 1970s and 80s with classics such as Ankur, Mandi and Manthan after battling chronic kidney disease. Benegal received many national awards in his career. He was the recipient of Padma Shri in 1976, Padma Bhushan in 1991. In 2005, he was also honoured with Dada Saheb Phalke Award, India's highest award in the field of cinema. On 26th of December, nation mourned the demise of Dr. Manmohan Singh, India's former Prime Minister and architect of economic transformation. Dr. Singh was 92 years of age. Dr. Singh was one of India's longest-serving and most revered statesmen nationally and internationally. He was also known as the architect of India's economic reforms. Dr. Singh served as Prime Minister of India from 2004 to 2014 and earlier as Finance Minister, where his leadership guided India through transformative times. Dr. Singh was also instrumental in achieving the historic US-India nuclear trade deal, and he launched groundbreaking initiatives like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, which revolutionized rural employment. Dr. Manmohan Singh completed his higher studies at premier institutes of Cambridge and Oxford, making him one of the most educated politicians of the country. At the time of his passing away, the Indian government declared a 7-day mourning period, and on 28th of December, his last rites were held with full state honours.
A quick look at some prominent events that marked the national calendar in our next segment, Dateline 2024.
We have decided to invite the Argentine Republic, the Arab Republic of Egypt.
The year 2024 started with BRICS expansion. Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran and United Arab Emirates became BRICS Plus members. On 7th of January, former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, secured a historic fifth term in power, with her party taking 3/4 of seats in parliament. On 8th of January, Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh embarked on a visit to the United Kingdom, first visit by an Indian Defence Minister to the country in 22 years. On 26th of January, French President Emmanuel Macron attended the 75th Republic Day celebrations of India as the chief guest. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarked on a state visit to UAE to participate in the World Government Summit 2024 as a guest of honour. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated BAPS Hindu Temple, the first Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi, and graced mega event Ahlan Modi. Prime Minister Modi visited Qatar, the second visit of the Prime Minister to Qatar on 15th of February. Prime Minister of the Hellenic Republic, Greece, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, visited India, marking first bilateral head of state government level visit from Greece to India after 15 years. 22nd February marked the landing of Intuitive Machines' Nova Sea lander named Odysseus on the moon, marking the first time a commercial spacecraft touching down lunar surface. On 24th of February, Ukraine-Russia war completed 2 years. On 4th of March, Shehbaz Sharif took oath as Prime Minister of Pakistan. 7th March, Sweden becomes NATO's newest member, making it the 32nd country to join the grouping. President Draupadi Murmu became the 6th Indian president to grace the Mauritian National Day as the chief guest since 2000. Prime Minister of Bhutan, His Excellency Dasho Tshering Togbe, embarked on an official visit to India. Vladimir Putin wins Russian elections in landslide win by securing 87.97% of the votes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was conferred with Order of the Druk Gyalpo, Bhutan's highest civilian decoration during the state visit to Bhutan. Prime Minister Modi became the first foreign leader to be given the prestigious award. United Nations Security Council passes resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza for the first time since the start of the Israeli-Hamas war. Former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Dmytro Kuleba, visited India. The visit was aimed at resumption of trade between two countries to the pre-war levels. The G7 countries agreed to phase out unabated coal power by 2030 to 2035. Iran's ex-president Ibrahim Raisi was killed after a helicopter carrying him and other officials crashed. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar visited Islamic Republic of Iran to attend an official ceremony to pay condolences on the tragic demise of President Said Ibrahim Raisi. Spain, Ireland and Norway recognized Palestinian statehood. United States President-elect Donald Trump is found guilty on 34 counts in his hush money trial case, the first time any American president has been found guilty of a crime. A first EU Parliament election were held since Brexit. EU Parliament re-elected Ursula von der Leyen as the Commission President. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Italy to participate in the G7 summit. He participated in the outreach session on artificial intelligence and energy, Africa and Mediterranean. At least 1,301 people died during Hajj pilgrimage. As per Saudi Arabia, mostly unauthorized pilgrims who walked in intense heat wave with temperatures exceeded 50 degrees centigrade. Switzerland hosts summit on peace in Ukraine. Former Prime Minister of Bangladesh Sheikh Hasina pays state visit to India, marking first incoming bilateral state visit after 18 Lok Sabha elections. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange pleaded guilty to a single felony charge for publishing US military secrets in a deal that secures his freedom. Minister of External Affairs Dr. S. Jaishankar led India's delegation to the 24th SCO summit at Astana in Kazakhstan. India hosted member countries and experts as the lead chair of the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence in Global AI Summit 2024. In UK parliamentary polls, the Labour Party emerges victorious with Keir Starmer becoming the Prime Minister of United Kingdom. Prime Minister Modi embarks on a state visit to Russia and participates in the 22nd India-Russia Annual Summit. Russian President Vladimir Putin confers Russia's highest national award, the Order of St. Andrew the Apostle, to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The award was announced in 2019. Prime Minister Modi is the first Indian leader to be conferred with this award. NATO summit takes place in United States of America, marking the 75th anniversary of the alliance. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarks on a state visit to Austria. This was the first visit by Prime Minister to Austria in 41 years. Prime Minister Modi becomes the most followed global leader on social media platform X with 100 million plus followers. US President-elect Donald Trump escapes an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania while campaigning for the presidential polls. For the first time, India hosts the 46th session of the World Heritage Committee meeting organized at Bharat Mandapam in national capital. This significant event marked a milestone in India's long-standing association with World Heritage Convention, which began in 1977. During the visit of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Laos and India jointly released a special commemorative postage stamp set featuring Lord Ram of Ayodhya. This made Laos the first country in the world to issue a stamp depicting the revered deity. Prime Minister of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, His Excellency Pham Minh Chinh, paid state visit to India. Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh dies in Israeli strike on Iran. Like Yahya Sinwar, Haniyeh was involved with Hamas's radical operations in late 1980s and got arrested several times by the Israelis. The use of artificial intelligence in the EU becomes regulated by the AI Act, the world's first comprehensive artificial intelligence law. Former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, who resigns as the Bangladesh's Prime Minister and flees the country following weeks of protests, her fall came in less than 7 months after she celebrated a fourth straight term in power and fifth overall by sweeping national polls in Bangladesh. President Draupadi Murmu embarks on a state visit to Fiji. This was first ever visit by the head of the state from India to Fiji. President Murmu embarks on a state visit to New Zealand, where she participated in the multiple bilateral fora. President of India Draupadi Murmu embarks on a state visit to Timor-Leste, marking the first ever head of the state visit from India to Timor-Leste. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates third Voice of Global South Summit on 17th of August with the overarching theme An Empowered Global South for a Sustainable Future. Prime Minister of Malaysia, His Excellency Dato Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, pays state visit to India, marking his first visit as Prime Minister of Malaysia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarks on a state visit to Poland, marking the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister in 45 years. Prime Minister Modi embarks on a state visit to Ukraine, marking the first ever visit of an Indian Prime Minister to Ukraine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Brunei Darussalam, the first ever bilateral visit by the Prime Minister to a country, and coincided with the 40th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations with the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Singapore, marking the fifth visit of Prime Minister Modi to the country. India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar attended the first ever India-Gulf Cooperation Council Foreign Ministers meeting in Saudi Arabia. Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, marking the first visit of His Highness to India as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. The Crew Abroad SpaceX Polaris Dawn mission successfully completes the world's first commercial spacewalk. Under Operation Sadbhav, India sends humanitarian relief assistance to Vietnam, Laos, People's Democratic Republic and Myanmar in the aftermath of Typhoon Yagi. Pagers and walkie-talkie used by the members of Hezbollah exploded almost simultaneously in Lebanon and Syria, killing many and wounding thousands more. The Iran-backed militant group blamed Israel for the deadly explosions, which targeted an extraordinary breadth of people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited USA to participate in the Quad Summit. Key highlight was Cancer Moonshoot event. During the visit, Prime Minister addressed the Summit of Future at UN. At conclusion of this visit, United States returned at least 297 antiques to India. Anura Kumara Dissanayake wins Sri Lanka presidential polls. Winner was declared after a second round of counting of votes, a first-time exercise undertaken in the history of the country. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah is killed by Israeli airstrikes in Beirut. The meticulously planned attack carried out by Israeli Air Force involved the collaboration of the multiple intelligence agencies and resulted in the death of several senior Hezbollah officials alongside Nasrallah reportedly. Prime Minister of Jamaica, His Excellency Dr. Andrew Holness, embarks on a state visit to India, marking the first ever visit to India and the first ever bilateral visit of the Jamaican Prime Minister. Mark Rutte takes office as NATO Secretary General. He described his predecessor's role as exemplary, calling NATO bigger, stronger and united. Claudia Sheinbaum takes oath as the first ever female president of Mexico after a landslide victory in elections held in June. President of the Republic of Maldives, His Excellency Dr. Mohammad Mizu, embarks on a state visit to India, this being the first bilateral visit of President Dr. Mizu to India. 7th October marks a devastating and tragic anniversary of Hamas attack. More than 1,200 men, women and children, including 46 Americans and citizens of more than 30 countries, were slaughtered by Palestinian militant group Hamas. Prime Minister Modi embarks on a state visit to Laos PDR. Prime Minister attended 21st ASEAN-India Summit and 19th East Asia Summit, marking the completion of 10 years of Act East policy under Prime Minister Modi's government. Cultural ties and Lao Ramayan performance was one of the highlights. President Draupadi Murmu embarks on a state visit to Algeria, marking the first ever visit by the head of the state from India to Algeria. India withdraws 6 of its diplomats due to their safety being endangered in Canada. Following Canadian responses, 6 Canadian diplomats were expelled from India. SCO Summit 2024 takes place in Islamabad in Pakistan. External Affairs Minister of India visits Pakistan to attend the SCO meet, first visit of an External Affairs Minister of India since 2015 to Pakistan. Yahya Sinwar, leader of Hamas, who was the mastermind of October 7th attack, is killed in gunfight with Israeli forces in Rafah. President of India Draupadi Murmu embarks on a state visit to Mauritania. This was a crucial visit as Mauritania at present holds the presidency of African Union. This was also the first ever visit by head of a state from India to Mauritania. President Draupadi Murmu embarks on a state visit to Malawi, the first ever visit by head of the state from India to Malawi. India and China reach an agreement regarding patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh, marking progress in easing tensions that arose after 2020 standoff. Prime Minister Modi embarks on a visit to Russia to attend the 16th BRICS Summit. Kazan Declaration on Strengthening Multilateralism for Just Global Development and Security was inked during this visit. Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Mr. Olaf Scholz, embarks on an official visit to India from 24th to 26th October for the 7th Intergovernmental Consultations. President of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, visits India. While this was the first visit of Sanchez, visit of the President of India came after a gap of 18 years. US presidential elections take place. Donald Trump emerges as the president-elect of United States of America, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris in a fiercely contested polls. As Azerbaijan hosts COP29, India collaborates with various agencies to organize side events on several aspects of climate action during the COP29 UN Climate Change Conference at Baku in Azerbaijan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarks on a state visit to Nigeria. This was the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Nigeria in 17 years. Prime Minister Modi was conferred with the National Award, Grand Commander of the Order of Niger, for his statesmanship and stellar contribution in fostering India-Nigeria ties. Prime Minister Modi is the first foreign leader to be conferred with this award since 1969. G20 summit takes place in Rio in Brazil. Rio Declaration is adopted. First ever G20 summit that saw participation of the African Union after its induction under the presidency of India in 2023. A key development from the sideline was relaunching of UK-India FTA negotiations. Russia-Ukraine conflict completes 1,000 days, marking a devastating and tragic anniversary. International humanitarian organizations term this the largest displacement of human population since World War II, as nearly one-third of Ukraine's population faced forced displacement. Additionally, 25% of the Ukrainian population is now living in poverty in the aftermath of war. Russian President Vladimir Putin approves the new nuclear doctrine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Guyana. This was the first ever visit by an Indian Prime Minister to the country. He participated in the second India CARICOM summit. Also, the President of Commonwealth of Dominica conferred the highest national award, Dominica Award of Honor, to India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Also, Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, confers upon Prime Minister the highest national award of Guyana, the Order of Excellence. Prime Minister Modi is the only fourth foreign leader to be conferred with the highest national award of Guyana. Former Deputy Prime Minister of UK, John Prescott, who was Britain's longest-serving Deputy Prime Minister, passes away. International Criminal Court issues arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, former Minister of Defense of Israel. Israel and Lebanon reach a ceasefire deal. First round of India-Japan dialogue on economic security, including strategic trade and technology, takes place. Australia passes social media ban for children under 16. American President Joe Biden signs pardon for his son Hunter Biden on 1st of December. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol declares martial law which gets revoked in less than 24 hours. French government topples with no confidence vote against Prime Minister Michel Barnier, becomes the first government to fall from no confidence motion in France in 60 years. King of Bhutan, His Majesty Jigme Kheser Namgyel Wangchuk, the Queen of Bhutan, Her Majesty Jetsun Pema Wangchuk, accompanied by senior officials from the Royal Government of Bhutan, embark on a state visit to India. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh embarks on a state visit to Russia. Foreign Secretary of India Vikram Misri embarks on a visit to Bangladesh, first high-level visit since the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attends the opening ceremony of the 26th Arabian Gulf Cup in Kuwait as the guest of honor of His Highness the Amir Sheikh Meshal Al Ahmad Al Jaber Al Sabah. The Amir conferred Prime Minister Modi the highest award of the state of Kuwait, the Order of Mubarak Al Kabir. During the visit, which comes after a gap of 43 years, multiple agreements were signed. India also welcomed Kuwait joining the International Solar Alliance.
The year 2024 winds down after bearing witness to victories, to defeats, to elation and heartbreaks of different kinds across the world. Curtains down for the year 2024. What an year it was. Maybe an erratic weather, disasters, elections, wins, defeats, victories, wars and conflicts. Some good news, some not so very good news. Amidst all this, paving way for hope. Hope for a better world, a peaceful world and a beautiful world for all of us. DD India is wishing all the viewers, India and abroad, have a wonderful year ahead as we gear up to embrace the new beginnings, rather the beautiful beginnings of the year 2025. Goodbye and take good care of yourself.